Hello and welcome once again to What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. I am your host, SOT publisher Pete Pardo. Today is Tuesday, May the 26th. Hope everyone had a great Memorial Day weekend. Now that all the festivities are done, we can get back to the music. So we've got a jam-packed edition full of new tunes for you here today. And I want to start off with this brand new release called The Breaking of the World from Tennessee's Glass Hammer. Got it on the background here. Another really wonderful release from these guys. You know, Glass Hammer's now been around for over 20 years, and we can safely say that they're prog veterans at this point. And, you know, this latest has got Carl Groves and Susie Bogdanovich on lead vocals. Carl, I'm sure many of you will remember as the lead singer of Salem Hill. So he is kind of at the vocal mantle, so to speak, right now, as John Davison has permanently, or full-time, I should say, joined Yes. So I guess his time is limited as to what he can contribute to Glass Hammer. He's been the lead singer of Glass Hammer for the last bunch of years. But Carl fits in, you know, like a glove here. He's always been a very solid vocalist. And, you know, basically what we've come to expect from Glass Hammer for quite a few years now. You know, it's great vintage-sounding symphonic rock. You know, they owe a lot to the Yes sound, so you can expect plenty of soaring keyboard flourishes, tasty guitar work, solid vocals, catchy tunes, long tunes. You know the drill. It's another good one. Definitely going to be on top of my list, or near the top of my list as far as progressive rock releases go for 2015. And kind of staying on that best of progressive rock release for 2015, King for a Day, the latest from Magic Pie from Norway. This is killer. As much as I love this, and it's really, really good, this is fantastic. You know, I've been kind of a proponent for this band since they came out about a decade or so ago. They continually put out albums that kind of bridge the gap between 70s hard rock and 70s prog. So if you love, like, Yes and Genesis and Deep Purple and a little bit of the Beatles and some Dream Theater, that sort of thing, it's kind of heavy in spots, very symphonic in others, melodic, great vocal harmonies. This is a complete winner. You know, there's only half a dozen tunes on here. Of course, one huge epic. Fantastic. This is already creeping up towards my top of the list for the year, even though we're not quite halfway through. So, Magic Pie, King for a Day. Highly recommend it. Let's stick with some prog stuff while we're at it. So we've got this latest from Steven Wilson. It's called Hand Cannot Erase. You know, the Porcupine Tree main man has kind of put Porcupine Tree to the back burner for a while now while he ventures out into this very successful solo career so far. And, you know, the accolades just keep coming in. This guy, you know, he's putting out solo records. He's remixing prog classics from Yes and Genesis and Jethro Tull and whatnot and King Crimson. And he's just, you know, really... I don't know how else to say. He's kind of like the man in progressive rock these days. This is another very, very fine album. You know, he's got the similar cast of characters he's had in the last few albums. And just really, really, it's a concept album. Really good, melodic, great musicianship. It just, you know, another little bit of genius from Steven Wilson. So if you've liked his last couple of solo albums, the last one, The Raven, was my favorite. This is probably as good, if not better, so that's what you have to look forward to. So, you know, we're talking about Porcupine Tree, Steven Wilson, so we've got this latest release from this little project called Exovex. It's called Radio Silence, and this is basically the project of Dale Simmons, a multi-instrumentalist, vocalist, and composer. He's got a couple or current Porcupine Tree guys on here, like Gavin Harrison and Richard Barbieri. You know, a very, if you like Porcupine Tree, Steven Wilson solo, there's even a healthy feeling of Pink Floyd here as well. Very, very solid, good melodies, really nice guitar work. If you love David Gilmour, you're going to like this. You know, nice keyboard washes. Just, again, a very solid album. Great pop melodies. You know, not overly complex, more straightforward prog, but highly enjoyable. Really, really classy stuff. Be on the lookout for this. Very, very good. And how about some guitar players, right? Dave Martone, Nacimiento, I'm sorry. This is Dave Martone's latest. He goes back and kind of rediscovers his love for the nylon acoustic string guitar. And it's actually kind of fun because he goes and kind of reworks some old TV and movie theme tunes, as well as some other, classical standards and things. So you've got like the Spider-Man theme, the old Spider-Man TV show. You got The Godfather on here. You've got the theme from Rocky, a reworking of the Final Countdown from Europe. It really, really good. It's basically just Dave and his nylon acoustic string guitar, dazzling as always, and this is really, really good. Just a beautiful album full of great playing, really fun reworkings of some familiar tunes, so I highly recommend this. Staying on guitar, this guy has been at the forefront of rock guitar now since the early 70s when he was just a teenager in Santana. He, of course, went on to fame and fortune in Journey, which he still continues to this day, as well as a stint in Band English, a little stint with Sammy Hagar and Hagar, Schon, Aronson, Shreve, and countless other things. Hardline. So we all know Neal Schon. Vortex is his latest double disc set of all instrumental guitar wonderfulness. He's covers jazz fusion here, hard rock, rock and roll, ballads, a little jazz, a little bit of prog, a little bit of everything. I mean, nobody sounds like Neal Schon. He doesn't sound like anybody else. He's just got this unmistakable style. His tone is amazing. His technique is impeccable. This is great stuff. If you're a guitar player or you love really good tasty guitar music, the real deal. All right, this one here, a little bit controversial to some. Not to me, because I'm a huge fan of the band and the band that they're kind of covering some of the old classics from. So, of course, I'm talking about the Purple album from Whitesnake. With the passing of John Lord a couple of years back, David Coverdale kind of wanted to do a little homage to some of the Deep Purple stuff that he sang in with John Lord and Deep Purple back in the Mark III version of Purple. The original idea was to get together with Ritchie Blackmore and see if they could kind of start off a little project, kind of revisiting some of those old Purple classics. That actually didn't work out, but Coverdale said to his bandmates in Whitesnake, hey, would you guys be interested in doing a revisiting to some of those old Purple classics that I used to sing in the band? And the answer was a resounding yes. So what we've got here is this brand new studio album of all reworked Purple classics from the Mark III and IV versions of the band. So you've got, of course, Burn and Stormbringer and You Fool No One and Sail Away. One of my favorites, The Gypsy. Lady Double Dealer, Mistreated, Holy Man, Might Just Take Your Life, so on and so forth. Soldier of Fortune, Lay Down, Stay Down. Are these going to replace the original versions, those Deep Purple classics? Of course not. But, Deep Purple certainly doesn't play these songs anymore because obviously Ian Gillan is still fronting the band. So, most of these songs you don't hear anymore unless you've got the albums or CDs and you're playing them. So, they're all kicked up versions of the originals because, current version of Whitesnake, Joel Hoekstra on guitar, new to the band, Reb Beach, Tommy Aldridge on drums. These are, a lot of these tunes, a lot of these versions are very different from the originals. They pay homage to them, but they add a little kind of Snake bit to them. I like it. It's a lot of fun. It's a chance to kind of, enjoy these old classics with a little bit of a twist once again. And, I love both Whitesnake and Deep Purple. They're two of my favorite bands of all time. So, for me, this is a lot of fun. Yes, I still do want another studio album from Whitesnake because their last couple of studio albums have been terrific. And I really want to see kind of what Joel brings to the table, on some new original material. But till then, this is a lot of fun. I've got tickets to see them in Atlantic City, New Jersey this summer, where they're probably going to do about a half a set of Purple, half a set of classic Whitesnake. And, I have never seen these old Purple songs performed live, ever. Burn, Stormbringer, and all that kind of stuff. So for me, I'm going to be like a kid in a candy store and have a lot of fun with this. So I dig it. Sounds good. Coverdale sounds really good. Obviously, he doesn't sound like he did back in 1974, but he still sounded pretty strong, at least in the studio albums. And, you know, I like it. They've kind of replaced Glenn Hughes' vocals with the rest of the band sings backup vocals and does the little brief leads that Hughes contributed along with Coverdale. So vocally, it's very balanced. The guitar work is off the charts. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, check it out. Don't write it off. Listen to it first. Okay, Heavy Blues, the latest solo album from Randy Bachman from Bachman Turner Overdrive, or BTO, Canada's legendary hard rock powerhouse. He's got a bunch of guests on here, so we've got him dueling guitar solos with Joe Bonamassa and Neal Young and the late Jeff Healey, Peter Frampton, and a few others. I like it. It's good, you know, old-time hard rock and blues. You know, if you like the old BTO stuff, if you like some of Randy Bachman's heavier solo stuff, you'll like this. Good, solid album from a legend, basically. Let's go over into the world of extreme metal. Why don't we? This is the latest from Germany's Ichor. It is entitled Depths. This is on the Bastardized Recordings label. This was actually released in 2014, I believe, but they've kind of reissued it again a year later, so they're kind of promoting this once again. I guess it went out of print really quick. It's now back in print. If you like, you know, modern-day death metal with like a little deathcore influence, I know some people that's a little scary because the deathcore scene is completely oversaturated with a million bands who all sound the same. But this is actually pretty good. All things considered. Like I said, they are from Germany. It's heavy as hell, brutal as hell. There's no relenting on this. Very well done. Again, not going to break the sound barriers with originality or anything like that, but a very, very solid release from a very, very good young band that I think have a pretty bright future ahead of them. So check that out. Okay, latest from Dehuman, Graveyard of Eden. These guys are from Belgium. This is their second release on the Chaotoxin Records label. Again, more death metal. This is more on the technical side. If you like kind of Suffocation, classic Morbid Angel, that sort of thing. So brutal, technical, death metal. I like this. This is very, very damn solid. Again, it's not like you haven't heard this sort of thing before. But if you crave, you know, really brutal technical death metal, that kind of, you know, harkens back to that classic old Florida death metal scene of yesteryear. I think you'll dig this. We're going to stay on the Chaotoxin label right now. This is the latest release from Putrid Offal. I know, strange name. Mature Necropsy. These guys are from France. They've been around forever. If you look at the pictures of the band here inside the booklet here, they're probably almost as old as I am. So this is not a new band. They were around back in the late 80s, early 90s. They released a couple demos and splits, and then I guess broke up for a period of time. They're back together. This is a 2-disc set. It's got all like re-recorded versions of all the old songs and all the original versions on disc 2 from the early 90s. You know, this is heavy, brutal, gore grind, death metal, whatever you want to call it. You know, the lyrics are off the charts. Disgusting, as can be imagined, but this is brutal as hell. I mean, if you love that nonstop, frantic gore / death metal with just all that, you know, really just lurid, you know, lyrics and, you know, all sorts of nastiness in here, this is kind of fun, you know, if you're into that sort of thing. And let's see. Lastly, we are going to take a look at the latest from Sakura Rage called Illusions in Infinite Void. These guys are on the Cruz del Sur label. This is very, very good. If you like late 80s, mid-late 80s, early 90s speed metal, thrash, a little bit of progressive metal, kind of along the lines of, say, Watchtower, you hear a little Megadeth in there, you know, that sort of thing. Annihilator comes to mind. Ripping guitar work, high-pitched vocals, memorable tunes. Some of it reminds me a little bit of the new wave of British heavy metal scene early on. I like this a lot. Very, very solid. Like I said, great guitar work, great drumming, frantic songs, interesting arrangements, technical at times, really strong vocals. This is one to definitely seek out. And they're, like I said, they're from Greece. Very, very good stuff. So with that, we are going to finish up with Forgotten Favorites. And here is one from the early 80s that I'm sure a lot of you will remember. It is the debut from the band Waysted. It's called Vices. Waysted originally was supposed to be the band with Pete Way from UFO and Fast Eddie Clark from Motorhead, but due to contractual obligations or problems that Pete Way had, because they were actually Fast Way was the band that they were supposed to start. Fast Way had to continue on without Pete Way. Pete Way instead went to go form this band, and this was their debut, in my opinion, their best. They did a tour with Ozzy Osbourne, opened up for Ozzy. I believe Motley Crue was also on that bill, the Shout at the Devil tour, Ozzy Bark at the Moon. And I like this a lot. You know, if you like that early, mid-'80s UFO, not too far removed from it. Actually, some really strong tunes on here. Good guitar work, good vocals. Just a band that kind of, I think, peaked with this, and then, internal things started happening, and they were never the same again. They had some lineup changes, and, Pete eventually went back to UFO, and the rest is history. But this is a very, very solid release that I always enjoyed. This reissue is from 2013, and it includes a few bonus tracks from early sessions of some of the main tunes that wound up on the album. So, again, Waysted, a forgotten favorite, one that you should make sure that you do not forget. With that, we end up another edition of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. As always, I am your host, Pete Pardo. Look for us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org, Twitter, Facebook, and of course here on YouTube. We will be coming at you from Rock Fantasy 2 weeks from today. We're going to take a week off. I've got some traveling to do. And then we'll be back at Rock Fantasy with Steve Keeler. And then shortly after that, we will be at the Warehouse with Dan Brown. So we're going to be looking at some more new releases, some stuff with the local scene, live music, all that good stuff. Checking in with our buddies. And, we'll see you all then. So till then, take care, keep rocking. Make sure you check out some really cool tunes we've introduced to you today.